Good evening. Welcome to the Storm Report Live. I am one of your hosts, Chris Cipperley, general manager and co-owner of Southern Vermont Storm. I'm also joined by Adam Samrov. I like to call him the Storm historian. He's got a lot of experience with the team covering the team through the Bennington Banner during his days as the sports report or sports editor for the Bennington Banner. So, hey Adam, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Hit him with a hind.
That's right. So the last time that we're on here, we presented the Hall of Fame. That was what 12 people total, if I remember correctly.
Two
So that
teams.
went over really, really well. So I just want to kind of put a bow on that and just thank everybody for really paying attention to it because that ultimately that series that video and all the photo announcements that we had done with it really got a lot of talk. So we reached just under 22,000 people for that event, or events, or however you want to call it. It had 539 reactions, 128 comments, and 68 shares. So to say that the Hall of Fame induction went well would be an understatement. So I'm really excited about how that went. Equally as excited about all the feedback I got in terms of nominations. Just an endless good that came from it. A lot of great conversations, a lot of great memories that were brought up. Like I said, a ton of great nominations. So we look forward to the future. But I wanted to thank everybody for their participation in the last one. So I thought it went really well. So Adam, thank you as well for putting in all that research.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's going to be, a hard pick next year. We have a lot of people that could be in next year as well. So we'll have picks for the next few years, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and somebody, of course, hey, we have 17 years worth of players. We have 15 years now, well, 16 years now to get caught up. So there's got to be a lot of, hey, how come not this one? How come this one? You know what I mean? Like it's impossible to really get it 100% the first time. So it's overall was really, really good. So I wanted to just kind of wrap that up, and then I figured we can kind of get into the goings on of the last few months. So if you want to kick that off, Adam, go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some announcements.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had a player meeting already, or
Mm-hmm.
trying to get more players involved at the Ruck in
Mm-hmm.
Troy. You guys have another meeting at Ramonto's in North Adams, I think,
Yes.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And just every other day it seems like another person is signing,
Mm-hmm.
and just making more, getting more and more guys involved and
Mm-hmm.
making the team the best it can be going into the 2022 season.
Yeah, I'm not used to saying 2022 yet. I feel like
Mm.
we're still in 21. But yeah, no, it's been really good. Um, it's somewhat humbling, considering where we came from a few years ago, and it's really encouraging because now we kind of have the ability to I wouldn't say hand pick, because I think that's a little bit disingenuous, but there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys to have a lot of chances to play in a lot of different spots. It seems as though the depth will be really good, and I think there's going to be position battles everywhere. So I think that's good for the team. If we want to get to where we want to go, we're going to have to challenge each other, and the best way to do that is be pushed by somebody else. So, and myself included. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the challenge because it's going to be, you know.
Well, I'm definitely planning on being a part of that, helping
Mm-hmm.
out in any way I can on the coaching staff
Yes.
this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to coaching the offensive line guys in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Definitely looking
We have a
forward to
good
that.
group. We have a real good group, and you know, most if not all are coming back. I mean, it's tough to say that they all are or aren't. In really early February, but it's looking pretty promising to have a really strong bunch. So.
Yeah. So like I said, take me through if you got other. I know the Ramonto's event in North
Mhm.
Adams coming up. Just take me through a little bit of the timeline between now and the first game coming up in July.
Yeah, there's a lot of benchmarks. Of course, the first one, then I guess the next item on the calendar is that player interest meeting, which is um February 18th from 6 to 8 at the Ramontos in North Adams, and then from there, actually before then, there is a NEFL board of directors meeting, which is this Saturday. So we'll have some news to bring back from that. Probably, hopefully, there'll be a couple new teams announced shortly after that. There's some interest in that. So once that kind of gets settled, we know how many teams there are and which divisions, how many divisions. Then we can start kind of sculpting the schedule. We do know that we will kick off in the third week of July, which we always do. And then the Labor Day, really, there's no buys until the Labor Day holiday, which this year I think September 5th, I believe.
First week of September.
Yeah, so we'll start, doing some things in March. I'm hoping to have the Riley rink secured for March 12th. I think 12 to 2 is kind of what we're shooting for. So that'll be the first thing, and then if weather's decent, we can do something in April. We're really trying to make sure that we put stuff on calendars because I think most people at this point kind of need those things to kind of look forward to. I know I do.
So tell me about the Riley Rink event. Is that just like guys getting together to kind of informal practice? Is that just like a combine type of thing? Tell me about that event and when it is. Obviously Riley Rink in Manchester.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
No, all that. Give me all the information behind that so guys can take a look at that and see what they're doing.
It's a combination of all those things. I don't have all the details ironed out, but the biggest thing is just giving guys an opportunity to be seen, an opportunity to say, okay, we set up these workouts. Which ones have you been to? Which ones haven't you been to? Do we know you're coming or not coming? And it's an opportunity to kind of get a chance to know each other, get a chance to know their teammates, get a chance to work out, get a chance to know me, get a chance to know everybody. And really, it will be a team workout. You can consider it a tryout in terms of, if you're there or not. It's not a mandatory event, but it's one of those things that we kind of keep track of. It's almost like OTAs in a sense.
Okay. And then you mentioned April. Hopefully by that point it's nice weather and we're outside and, we have that beautiful facility, Lower Willow Park in Bennington. Just talk about that if that's already been kind of figured out what you want to do in April.
Same kind of thing. I mean, in years past, we typically do like a brief workout. Then we usually end it with like a flag game, something like that. But since you bring up Lower Willow, we do have intentions of finally putting up the scoreboard that we got back in, I think 2020. I think, so that'll be a Storm branded scoreboard. I think it's 8 feet long, maybe 4 feet tall, maybe.
Okay.
But that'll be installed. As long as everything goes to plan, which I think it will. That'll be installed this year, so it'll be a significant improvement. Not only are we going to have the scoreboard, there's also going to be a sound system that is additionally going to be installed. So that was something we wanted to do last year, but it was just another challenging year, much like 2020 was, but in a much different way.
Yeah, it sounds like a good way to get a bigger experience, something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you've been trying to do for a couple of years. Obviously, this last couple of years has been nuts with COVID, and hopefully we're starting to finally come out on the other side of this thing, and we'll get as much normal as we can this year for the. And then we go through that, and then I know in June usually there's a preseason game. I know in past years it's been against the Ice Storm out of South Burlington. I think the Ravens maybe last year did one. I thought maybe the Vermont Ravens have done them in the past, and then the Green Jackets at Glens Falls. So there's been a bunch of different opponents for the preseason game to get ready, and then like you said, third week of July begins the year.
Yeah, we're definitely we don't have the preseason game really figured out yet. That is on my to-do list for over this week and next. But yeah, I think last year was the Ravens. Year before that, obviously, we didn't have a preseason game, but we played the Utica Nighthawks, I think, in 2019. and we've been lucky enough where both those games have been at home. So I mean, we're definitely open to going on the road. Somewhat, it's only fair. I would like to play the Ravens again because I think that's good because we've kind of lost the ability to play each other, considering that not most of the time, but currently we're Double A, and currently, well, I can't say currently. Last year we're Double A, last year they're Single A, so we kind of lost that automatic matchup. So I like it myself. I think there's a lot of mutual respect in between the two teams, but we got to figure that out. I certainly hope so. I would like to go up there because to return the favor, but we had a brief conversation about it. I got to circle back to it and hopefully we can get that done. But if not,
there's a lot of guys, and there's a lot of guys up there that these guys have played against each other. Some of these long-term vets have played together for years and years. Playing against each other, and all in the in the Vermont thing. Definitely.
Great games.
So I think so it seems like things are going pretty set, and and I know, like I said, it seems like every day or two, it seems like I see a new announcement for a new signing. So just kind of talk about that a little bit and how, in general, not specific guys yet, but in general, how has that been going in terms of getting new guys, putting pen to paper, and getting them into the fold?
I really hesitate to say it's easy, but the interest has been pretty aggressive. Again, that kind of makes me feel like I feel like I say this every year, some form or facet, but we're on the right track in terms of we do things that attract players to come here. No, there is a little bit of a abnormal off season in terms of there's a team or two that won't be playing in New York that typically plays. So it's a balancing act. We're allowed to have well, actually, I don't know this, but historically, we're allowed to have 55 guys. Last year, we were able to have 65 for various reasons. But just on the new applications I have alone, it's 58. So I got a lot to go through. I'm super far behind. I'm sure there's a few folks out there that are wondering what's going on, or why there hasn't been an announcement for him or whatever. It's just it's really been a lot to manage. It's a good thing, but the message that I've given to anybody that wants to be here it's to me it's very simple. It's a prove it year from top to bottom. It's we so in the last few years, and now 2020 is a different year, but we've won a lot of games, but we have nothing to show for it over the last 3 years. So we have to do things differently. The expectations have to be a hell of a lot higher. We have to have a much higher level of accountability. It's really it's one of those things, myself included, where it's just, don't tell me how good you are, show me how good you are. That's where we're at. It's put up or shut up, quite honestly. If you don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, I can get better, then I don't want you here, honestly. It's just status quo is not working, and we don't put the kind of energy that we put into this team to not reach our goals. Or no disrespect to any team that we've lost to, but I feel like it's us and everybody else, but we're not putting in the work that matches up to that statement. So until we do that, we're going to continue to be a 7-8 win team, and maybe we get to the championship, maybe we don't. Now, that isn't something I'm willing to accept. So I guess that's the major announcement publicly is I'm not happy where we're at, and everybody's going to be challenged. And it's one of those things where people have to be uncomfortable. They have to be pushed. Things have been not where they need to be, and it starts with me. And I'll be honest with you. I'll be goddamn if I'm just going to stand by and let things keep going the way they're going, because a 7-win season and no championship is not acceptable to me, and it shouldn't be anybody else in here. Little rant, sorry, but that's something I'm very passionate about. I left that game in October upset, and I feel over the years, for me, most of the time I get upset about something, I move on, but I'm just as mad about it today than I was in October. So to me, that's a sign, and I got to do simple with it. So I know that's a long-winded, over-the-place answer, but that's just something that I'm very passionate about. And if anybody doesn't agree with that, then I guess it's nice knowing you, really. I mean, it's just black and white.
That's much different this year compared to other years in the past, where if you get that many guys, you said it's 58 now, you're going to gain a couple, you're going to lose a couple, and if you have that many guys, there'll be battles, and guys will win those battles and others will lose those battles, and it's those position things are not, you want the best 11 on the field at any one time.
Oh, definitely. And it's just one of those things where it's got to work. You got to, it's everybody has a clean slate. It's great to have past success, but past success doesn't win tomorrow. We got to make sure that we do everything to hold each. Not only is it me, it's those player relationships that you got to have. There has to be true leaders. There has to be, again, I don't want to get too far behind and really kind of like go crazy, but there's going to, day one, it's going to be something very as simple as, hey, we need captains. We need leaders. Here's other things that I'm looking for. Once we decide who those captains are, in other words, like you check the boxes for what we're looking for an example. We're going to choose those guys based on those examples, not, hey, I was whatever a year ago, 2 years ago, this season. It doesn't matter. It's a prove it year. So what will happen is if that person decides to be, is elected a captain in terms of what again, everybody's going to know exactly what it is, but they're going to be sat down and be like, hey, you've been nominated for captain. These are what we expect from you. If you don't do it, expect to lose the captaincy. It's just the way it's going to have to be. We have to challenge each other. Again, I'm sorry to kind of get off path here, but it's
again, these are grown men. These are not like high school kids. You would treat, you would treat maybe high school kids a little differently. These are grown men playing a kid's game.
It's time. We are too good and too successful in terms of our abilities to continuously fail, and I'm not accepting that anymore.
All right. So just for a little levity, because you definitely went on a rant, you definitely sound a little Sean McDermott today. I'm just going to say.
Yeah, but you know what?
Buffalo Bills coach, just for if anybody doesn't know.
Yeah. He got a bum rap. I mean, all right. So listen, I'm a huge Bills fan, so I'm gonna go off in the weeds here. I wasn't really mad that he didn't squib kick it. I understand why he didn't. But quite frankly, in that scenario, just get a 5. Listen, you got 13 seconds. I just would have held Kelsey and Hill multiple times because they don't put time back on the clock. They just give you another down.
Right.
So if they just held, I know that's outside of what you teach, but if you just hold Kelsey and Hill, they don't, like I said, they don't put time back on the clock. So that's what I would have done. But hindsight is 20/20. But congratulations to the Bengals, though.
Well, just to finish that thought, and then we'll get on to Storm business. I want to see the Bengals win. If I was going to put money on it, which we can in New York, thanks to the new rules, I'd probably take the Rams in terms of to win the game if I was going to bet on it.
They're
I'd love to see Burrow do it. Who do you have for the Super Bowl on the?
It's going to be the Rams. It's going to be the Rams only because I really like Burrow. Things are going to be very, very interesting in the AFC for the next 10, 12 years because everybody wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, but let's not forget about Joe Burrow.
And Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I just don't think that the experience is there for the Bengals, and I know it hasn't mattered yet, but I mean, I just think defensively the Rams are deeper. I think offensively the Rams have more experience, but who knows? You really don't know.
Well, this season has been pretty wacky in the first place. Teams losing when they shouldn't. Teams winning when they probably shouldn't. Jacksonville beating Indianapolis in the last week of the year, for example.
Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that was awful if you're a Colts fan.
So, but we'll see. We'll when on our next Storm report, we'll review. We'll see if I'm right or you're right. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is we did one of these just before the season, and I think Manny was on, and I said, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl, and I got laughed out of there, rightfully so, because it was a crazy thing to think, but they weren't too far away from making it.
No, they beat my Cowboys, unfortunately, because Dak Prescott doesn't know how to set the ball and tell the umpire to touch it.
Yeah, that was a bad look.
I don't want to get involved with that because this will be a lot longer live.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So to get back on this to the Storm side, seeing every other day or so, every few days, a new player signed. I wanted to talk about a handful that I've seen.
Yeah, go right ahead.
One local just actually came out today from Cambridge. Caden Ogilvy graduated from Cambridge in 2019, and he again just became official today.
Mm-hmm.
And I covered that Cambridge team for a long time. I've covered all 4 years of Caden. Running back, defensive back. Thrived in Doug Luke's offense, as most of running backs do for him. If people around here are familiar with Cambridge football,
yep.
He's not super big, but he's fast, he's shifty, he's good at making one quick cut and just being out of there. So wherever he goes, offense, defense, he will he'll make a difference every time he's on the field. Special teams, offense, defense, doesn't matter where you put him. So talk about signing Caden and a little bit of how that kind of came about. Yeah. And his possible role going forward.
Yeah, no, he was actually well, let me back up just a minute. We kind of struggled sort of getting local players to play. What I mean by local is like Mount Anthony, Hoosick Falls, Tamarack, Cambridge. I think that's most of them.
Yeah, this kind of radius of Section 2.
Yeah, and so he was actually referred to me by Shaden. What's his last name? I'm sorry.
Masso.
Yeah, and he played with us back in 2019. And much like the Hoosick Falls guys, especially again, I don't say this with any disrespect to the current situation in Hoosick Falls, but Ron Jones kind of produced certain kind of players, and Cambridge is very similar to that, where they have a really good work ethic, and they play the game really hard and they do all the things that like the game pretty much asks for or demands. So in any case, he was referred to us from Shaden. And we had a brief conversation. I looked at some of his film, and the more and more I heard is he's a super hard worker. He can help us all over the place, and quite honestly, that's all we want is somebody that wants to be here, somebody that wants to work hard, somebody who wants to make a difference, and be a good teammate. And he fits all those things. He's young, but we have a good blend of really young guys, veterans, and I guess you can call them middle age players.
So for that,
yeah. So he I think he'll fit in really nice. He's very quick. He might be able to return some kicks for us. I don't know. Until he gets in here and really kind of puts it all together, it's hard to say one thing or the other. But I'm excited to have him.
And then another young guy, the same. Actually, he graduated from Troy High School. Mackay Cruel, another young guy, played for Troy High for 4 years. I think Berger was probably the first year or two, but then they've switched coaches since. I watched some of his film. Not a super big guy. He his own huddle has him listed at 5'9", 153. So
yeah,
we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, he grew an inch since then.
All right, so he's 5'10", 153.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the video I watched, very good route runner. I saw a play where they used him kind of as a safety valve out of the backfield, and he was able to run for 20 or 30 after the catch.
Yep.
Good field awareness, a couple really nice defensive plays, kind of a nose for the ball. And again, another young guy. It seems like he's going to have a lot of energy and really, become a part of the culture. And he went to, like I said, he went to Troy, so he's got some good coaching behind him as well.
Yeah. No, he's really talented. He's another one that we kind of have to, I guess, plug and play with, because I think he can kind of play anywhere and everywhere. We do anticipate him playing pretty much anywhere but offensive line on the offense, unless he wants to play O-line, but I don't think he does. He's a little bit undersized for that, but he's very talented. Again, another guy that can help us in the secondary, another guy that, could play that corner. He could play a nickel corner. He could play, whatever. He's young. He's excited to go. And hopefully we can, make the most of it. I'm excited for him.
And it's one of those things too, where, we think of football, or we think of, sports like golf or tennis, men's league and basketball, just, when you get older, you can stay in those sports, but football always isn't one of them. But this is an opportunity for a kid, or two kids in this case, with Cade and Mackay.
Yep.
Where they can strap the pads on again, where they may not have figured they could have, they wouldn't ever be able to anymore once they graduate high school. And this gives them an opportunity to strap on the pads.
100%. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about young guys, we forgot about Burton. There's a couple of guys coming down from Manchester that I'm very excited about. David Keys and Joseph. Oh goodness, what's his name? Oh, I'm gonna feel bad for not remember his name.
We didn't talk about this in the pre-show meeting.
Yeah, no, Dustin Joseph. Is
okay. Yeah, both of those guys, excellent athletes. Keys is like 6'5", 275. He's in the middle of the line. When we played them this year, one of the main things was 5'77". Know where he is at all times. Wherever he's lining up, you better find him. So he is a difference maker with that size, and that So that's definitely for David. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a lot of guys, and I'm looking forward to everybody. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the guys that are coming back. I'm looking forward to the guys, that haven't been here before, or even played at this level. So I think there's a lot of excitement, at least for me, to kind of put it all together and see what we got.
It's almost like the young guys or the new guys are Christmas presents that haven't been opened yet, and the older guys are those tried and true. You know what you're getting with it, and it's just reliable. Like an old car, it's just reliable, runs perfect. You know what you got with those guys, but these new guys coming in might be something, just a little different that can make a big difference.
Oh, absolutely, and it's also up to us to make sure they have a good experience as well, that we don't ruin them, and that's a good pressure to have, believe it or not.
And then two other guys, former Troy Fighting Irish guys, Anthony Payon and Raekwon Shaw. Both of them played for Troy from 2011. It's according to their bios. I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
I think it is, but I'm not certain either.
But both of them are veterans of the semi-pro football game. Payon, watching his film, you could put him any one of the four spots on the defensive line. You could put him in the middle. You could put him in the end spot. He just seems he's an extremely aggressive A/B gap player. He'll make some linemen's day miserable, which is always a good thing.
Yep.
Again, not a very tall guy, but just squat and just I saw a couple of plays on there where he's bull rushing guys, just power them out. And then Shaw, he's listed as middle linebacker. I think he's more of a rover type from the video that I watched. The highlights I saw, he comes up out of that kind of rover spot, sees the run, and hits the hole. And and that's it. And he's solid. He makes solid tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So run defense, that front seven, part of that front seven sounds good. He seems to cover tight end pretty well. There was a couple of those plays where he's, kind of one-on-one with the tight end. They throw it, bad pass. He, gets an interception out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So both, like I said, both Troy guys, both veterans of semi-pro in this level.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two guys have a real chance to make a difference with that experience. They're new to the Storm, but not to the semi-pro game.
Right. Well, I mean, Anthony in particular, you kind of, I don't know, not that let the cat out of the bag, but you kind of hit the nail on the head. With the guys that
Obviously.
we have, with the guys we have, it would be stupid of us not to move them around. Because Anthony could play any like I said, any four. Jesse Karen could play any four. So I know he's been itching to play defensive end here or there. So that actually creates a good problem. We're gonna be fresh too. I mean, our goal is to use as many guys as we can and keep them rolling. The biggest thing is we just want to supplement what we already have. We're a good team before we brought those guys on, but like anybody else, you're gonna have to fit in, and I think you're gonna fit in really nicely as long as they come in and do what they, I know they can do.
And I know a couple others that you've been mentioning to me. We talked beforehand.
Yeah.
Sorry, just trying to read my notes here.
Sorry. Are you talking?
Well, you talking about Jalen Hill coming back?
Yeah. Yep.
Mark Burgos coming back. Tyler Roble. I saw a re-signing thing for Jonathan Resto.
Yep.
I think I also saw one for Chino. I think I saw maybe a re-signing thing for Michael Hom, aka Chino.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think it's a great mix of solid guys staying around. Guys have been around for a couple of years. Some of these new guys coming in, and I think it's a way to try to get to that next level. Mm-hmm. I mean, depth is paramount in semi-pro.
Mm-hmm.
Guys work, guys have weddings, guys have family obligations, and it's as much as you want to be there for every single thing, it just life gets in the way. This is what happens when you play with adults.
Absolutely right. No, it's one of those things where does commitment level need to be there? Yes, but life happens too. To answer your question, yeah, you can, Adam, if you'd like to bring that up.
Okay.
But it's just you have to have it. I mean, you can never truly have enough good players, but you have to have the right good players. So you got to have ones that have team goals in mind, and that's easier said than done because at this level there is a level of I won't call it expectation, but it's not like it was in high school. I guess is the best way of saying it. But yeah, having like Jalen back is huge. Jalen has gotten better and better and better at every turn. That's because he works hard. He'd do just about anything for us. I mean, we're lucky so far. Everything's lining up to have most of everybody back. When I say most of everybody is because I don't really know 100%. But like even having Mark Burgos back for the whole year, having Joe Rito's back. The offensive line is very, very important. Joe Pollin's back. Again, I'm shooting a little bit from the hip, but the reality of it is, though, we have an opportunity to be pretty good, but we got to work for it.
Mm-hmm. Another former Troy Fighting Irish player also is Zaquon Gordon. Apparently his huddle thing calls him Flash, which is good. Makes me laugh. Another Section 2 guy, Lansingburg, graduated from Lansingburg in 2010. Played a little bit of college football in D3. Came back home to Troy, and he's played for the Irish since 2015. That is that's somebody who is new to the Storm but has a ton of experience. It's that balance of that. Just tell me a little bit about just his decision to move. I mean, obviously we got Anthony and Raekwon the same way. That you've got some Troy guys making the trip over to Bennington.
Well, I guess the obvious answer. I mean, the first, I guess, elephant in the room is it doesn't look as though like they're going to play this year, Troy. Taking a year off to kind of reorganize, and we've been there, so that's no shade. So nobody needs to get upset about that. But
right, I mean, that's still, you guys didn't play in 16. It was a very similar reason. Just you needed to regroup, and
you got to. I mean, you can only do it for so long before you say, okay, well, I got to do something different, or not do it at all. And luckily, they decided to do something different. So I support that, of course. But really, I think it was an opportunity. We do have an opportunity for a quarterback. A starting quarterback, I should say. Will of course, unfortunately, had gotten hurt this past season. I don't want to speak for him, but it doesn't look as though he's going to be able to make it back. And I don't think that's 100% injury related. He's starting a family now, so again, that's something we definitely understand and embrace. But there's an opportunity for a quarterback spot, and I'm sure that was part of it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, again, I think the Storm, obviously, we've talked about this before, has become much more regional than it ever was.
Had to. Yep.
And it's had to be. But, there are a handful of local guys there, and obviously you got another new one with Caden, if you want to consider Cambridge local, as I do.
I do too. Anything within a half hour, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yep. But it is. I mean, it is the Southern Vermont Storm. So we're talking Manchester, we're talking Cambridge, we're talking Bennington, we're talking, Williamstown, North Adams.
Yep.
That whole, like you said, 30-minute radius.
Or 45, I guess, if you're counting Troy.
I guess 45 if you're counting Troy. I guess sure. Yeah, 45 on Route 7 on a Friday when the skiers are going up to the mountain.
Trust me, I've been. We used to do meetings at JC's in Bennington on Fridays, and there was not a time I wasn't late.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No chance. No chance on Route 7.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I guess maybe I'm making a public announcement that I'm going to try to be coach this spring. And Bill McLaughlin just said a whole thing, so he's just hidden my face.
There you go. You're welcome. I'm just trying to shut you up as to what that was.
But I'm looking really forward to getting to meet some of these new guys, getting to see them on the field, getting to see what they're all about on the football field, and you guys have done a yeoman's work to get these guys here, and I think that's something to be commended.
Well, I appreciate it, and I was in Bennington this past week, and it was a welcome compliment that we got. It was the guy was very thankful that we kept the team here. So it's kind of hard to believe that there was a time that it wasn't going to be, and it's been pretty remarkable, but. We've had all the off the field success. It's time to finally get that on field success that we desperately want. So it's time.
And and this year's the 5-year anniversary of the last and only championship. So we'll need our resident NFL Hall of Famer Marcus Anderson to be in and around what's going on this year.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, man, we're excited. It's there's a lot of work to be done. But we're gonna, I'm challenging myself. It starts with me. So like I said before, the acceptance of lack of accountability is a thing of the past, and I take full responsibility for that. And I'm going to act on it. So I'm excited.
I do want to ask one thing actually that just came to mind. As of right now, what does the coaching staff look like? Actually,
pretty much the same as last year, with the exception of one other guy that I can't get into right now.
Okay. I wasn't trying to get
not at all.
Extra information, but just wanted to see, because that can also be something too, just trying to see who's, who wants to put in the commitment, who wants to put in the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're expecting players to do it, they're going to expect.
Well, that's the thing. We have to set the example. Yep, we're setting the example. I mean, all I can tell you is that if we, like you said, if you want something out, if I wouldn't do anything, or excuse me, I wouldn't ask for anything from anybody that I wouldn't do myself. So I'm trying to set a good example. I feel as though I've done a decent job of setting an example as far as commitment. But as far as doing certain things and reacting to certain things, I got to do a better job at that. And it's the whole staff. We're all on the same page. So it's going to get uncomfortable at times, but that's what happens when you're in charge.
All right. I think that's it. We've definitely hit the 40-minute mark.
That's
so
right. We should be good.
We've got some great comments, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more on Facebook and that as well.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this. Let's more storm reports are coming. Hopefully we can make this kind of a semi-weekly thing, but
that would be the goal. Yeah, it's kind of slipped a little bit. I've had some commitments and conflicts and inability.
I do also because Wednesdays are my class days. So
yep. We'll get it figured out. Even if we record them, and then put them up. But yeah, I think it's good. It really kind of keeps, I guess, people or us in the front of their mind. Hopefully, at least that's the goal. So, but yeah, man, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see all you guys soon.
Peace.